Hey, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Schuyler Diehm. I love to challenge my body and mind and document it so you guys can decide if you want to do the same. And I also run an online fat loss coaching program that's helped our clients lose over 2,800 pounds as of recording this. I've heard time and time again that it is the simplest, easiest way to lose weight. So if you are curious what we do, you can head down in the description to our apply page. But for the next 7 days, I am going to be doing a meditation challenge. So back in 2017, I started learning about meditation. Based on how people were talking about it, I decided to test it myself. And although I can't say I fell in love with it right away, I did start to build a somewhat structured, but still not very consistent practice.
Inner peace. Inner peace. Dinner, please.
In 2018, I was part of a men's group that did a 1 hour a day meditation challenge, and I remember it being exactly that, a challenge. To be honest, I'm pretty sure half of the meditations I just fell asleep because I was laying on the ground. Well, fast forward to 2 years ago, I joined a coaching program where they encourage meditating for 30 minutes every morning. It sounded like a lot, and honestly, it kind of still does, but I started it, and since then, I'd say about 90% of my days or more have included that meditation practice. And I've got to be honest, I've noticed a huge difference. Although sometimes it's a struggle, I really do believe in the power of meditation. There's something special about letting your mind wander and then using your mind and practicing presence by bringing your attention back to here and now, especially in a world where our attention is typically drawn in a million different places and we are extremely overstimulated. I really do believe in the benefits of giving your mind some time to process and to relax and to be present. So to challenge myself and see what happens, for the next 7 days, I'm going to be doing a 2 hour a day meditation challenge. The rules I've created for myself are simple. Rule number 1, every meditation needs to be done sitting up. I'm not gonna lay down because the challenges I've done in the past, it's been very easy to fall asleep. Rule number 2, I will be keeping a journal next to me. During these meditations, it is not rare that I have insights, and I do not want to forget the insights that come through, but I also don't want to be pulling out my phone during the meditation and writing it down. So we're going to go with good old-fashioned pen and paper, and I'm going to be documenting any insights that come to me. And rule number 3 is do my best to let go. I don't want to do this challenge in the morning or the night because I know there's a higher chance that I will fall asleep. And so doing it in the middle of the day, there is definitely some resistance. I am a business owner. I have clients I communicate with throughout the day. I also have our other coach, Amy. And so escaping for 2 hours feels like a lot, but I'm going to lean into the resistance and I'm going to push to do the challenge. So with that said, let's get into it. Okay, so one of the benefits of meditation is putting your brain waves into an alpha state, which allows yourself to be much more impressionable. So if you are working on reprogramming your mind, you want to think in a different way, you want to reduce stress, you want to change beliefs you have about yourself or the world, this is an extremely effective way to do so. It also allows you to connect closer with God. For my people that are spiritual out there, it's just a very beneficial thing. And so I'm using a little performing enhancing drug during this. This is called Deep State. It's a daily meditation enhancement. It's by one of my favorite supplement companies, the Stampede Network. By the time this video comes out, there should be a full review, breakdown of the ingredients, of the benefits, whatnot. But just to give you a little background, Deep State is designed for spiritual fitness, increasing awareness, and connecting deeper with the Creator. I found on my journey that when I'm out of alignment, it's directly correlated to lack of internal connection. In a world of noise and distraction, the only way to know the truth is to go within. Take a seat, tap in, and feel the grounded presence in your body. So this is a supplement that's meant to put you deeper into a meditation. So I'm gonna use it for my meditations. I'm very intrigued to see if I notice a difference because so far I've only used it with shorter meditations. But yeah, let's get into it.
Inner peace. 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 Inner peace.
Day 1, I feel so much more calm and grounded. It was such a reset. Man, I have a couple insights that I wrote down during. There's nothing crazy, but the first thing I noticed is that basically as soon as I started, I realized that I didn't text some people that I figured I should to update them that I'm gonna be MIA for 2 hours. And like my first instinct was, oh, I can just grab my phone real quick and shoot a text. But I resisted it, I stayed in. I ate probably 45 minutes before I started, and I will not be doing that again because I could kind of feel the digestion. I was sleepy halfway through. At one point I was in a meditation. This was like probably for a good 20 to 30 minutes, and my head would go down and then I'd come back up, and then my head would go back and I'd come back up. And then there was one point where I think I got so deep into it that my head went back and it actually cracked. So I need to be aware of whether that's just me getting into those alpha brain waves, or if because I was eating or because it's been a long day that I am tired and I fell asleep. But I'll be very aware of that. Last 20 minutes were the hardest just because I knew that I was close. And that's something that I have experienced when I do longer fasts, and also whenever I do like longer hikes or longer runs, is that it's really the last mile or the last hour or the last 10 minutes that are the hardest, just because I'm looking at the clock and I know how close I am. Whereas when I know I have a long way to go, I can kind of buckle in and just sit in, and even if it's something difficult, know that I just need to suffer for a little bit. But just because I was getting close, it feels like time's moving slower. And then the last thing was, as soon as it was over, I immediately wanted to grab my phone. Like that was my first instinct of, oh, let me check messages, get back to people. And I kind of just had to like take a deep breath and film this first and just like really have some space without it. But that was a good day one. A couple tweaks for when I do it tomorrow, but learning lessons, and we're gonna keep it going. All right, we are on day 2. Got a lot of things calling my name today, but it is about time to drop in, so that is what I'm gonna do. We are done with day 2. That was a little bit of a emotional experience for me. During that big portion of that, I was able to really drop in and really feel just grounded, present, connected with my body. And it was a really beautiful experience. The last 20 minutes I was fidgeting. I was so ready for it to be done, counting down the minutes. Recently, I've been finding myself being a little bit more short-tempered, short-fused with people I really care about. And during this meditation, I had the chance to dig into that, and it was a really cool experience. So I'm feeling hyped about this one, but it was definitely hard. The last 20 to 30 minutes were very difficult, but we got it done, and on to day 3 tomorrow. Right. Day 3. See how this day goes. Today is kind of an empty day, but I've been doing a lot, and I'm reaching kind of that end point where I'm cutting it close with my plans tonight, so I gotta get it done. So let's do it. All right, we have entered day 4. I'm about to start the 4th day of meditation, and I wanted to recap yesterday's experience. I've kind of mulled over how to share this, how to effectively communicate what I experienced, because it was really crazy. And I think to do so, you need to understand how energy and emotions and trauma can be stored in the body. So this is what I believe personally. So we have the conscious mind and we have the subconscious mind, right? The conscious mind is what we can remember. We can recall, we have memories, we have thoughts. The subconscious mind is basically a database of everything that you have ever experienced, and a lot of it is inaccessible to the conscious mind, right? So if you went through something when you were super, super young, you may not remember it, but the subconscious has been able to store that memory. To me, the conscious is more the brain, the subconscious is more the body, because typically what happens is when you have these emotional experiences, you produce emotions that if you don't process them outright, they can get stored in the body. Right? That's why we see kids throwing tantrums, is when they experience these intense emotions, instead of doing what an adult does, which is just kind of like shove it down, push it away, they experience it fully. If you've seen a kid throw a tantrum, there's no talking sense into them. They are moving, they are screaming, they are crying, and then when it's done, there's peace, because they've processed that emotion. And so what many of us experience is that we have these stored traumas, stored emotions from childhood and even beyond. And if we don't process them, they can create some reoccurring issues, right? Always struggling with certain emotions or always finding yourself in the same situation, the same loop. And so what I experienced yesterday was basically an emotional release. It's going to be really tough to describe, but I started the meditation and I had the idea just to do an Om, which is the, Om, and to do that for about 5 to 10 minutes. After doing that, you pretty much feel a lot of vibrations in the body. The way I've described, or I've heard Oms described, is you're giving the nervous system an internal massage. Because if you just do that, if you hum, you can feel your body vibrating internally. And so what I've also heard is that when you do this, it can start to stir up a lot of the emotions. It can start to get things moving. Instead of stagnant energy, it starts moving so that you have the option or possibility of processing. And so I'm doing this all meditation, 5 to 10 minutes of it, and then I sit in silence. And I'm sitting there and I start to feel this emotion bubble up. And it's really, really difficult to describe. All I can say is it just felt like it was something from childhood. It's something I've experienced a few times during coaching sessions that I've done where I've done something very similar. And it basically reminds me of my childhood. I couldn't tell you what memory, I couldn't tell you what it was connected to, but it did feel like a heavy emotion. And so I'm sitting there and I'm feeling this emotion amplify in all of my body, starting to weigh me down, starting to feel super heavy. And one of the greatest gifts I've given myself is the opportunity to sit with emotions and let them process and feel them instead of what I used to do, which is push them to the side, don't want to think about them. And so I'm letting this emotion just strengthen. I'm just sitting into it. I'm not even trying to understand it. I'm just sitting with it and feeling it. And it starts to just get stronger and stronger. And I feel it start to just amplify coming up my torso. And I just feel my face start to scrunch. Like slowly, like the lips are scrunching, my eyes are scrunching. I'm starting to feel a little bit of heaviness, a little bit of sadness, a little bit of frustration. And as this emotion starts to come up, I start shedding some tears. I start shaking my body. Like if you ever get cold, how you shiver, my torso was shivering. So nothing else. I wasn't cold. It was literally just like my back muscles, my chest that were just like shivering and shaking as this emotion was moving up. And I started crying. And my body just started working and I could feel the energy. Like if you haven't done this before, I know I sound absurd and crazy. It's fine, but I could feel the energy just coming up and just starting to process and starting to be released. And I went through that experience. I sat with it from start to finish. The Om was probably 5 to 10 minutes. And then that was probably a 30-minute experience. And then there was just peace. I felt like a super large warmth in my belly and I just felt light. And I came out of that meditation feeling so fragile. And it was a crazy experience. I don't know what I processed. I don't know if or how life is going to be any different, but I do feel like I've released something that I've been holding on to for a really, really long time, which is just a beautiful feeling. So as I start day 4 here, I'm probably going to keep a very similar mindset. I want to do that same routine, but I also don't want to have any expectations. Like if that's the only emotional release I get during this experience, this entire process was worth it. Like just what I was able to feel yesterday, I'm so thankful for. But if more comes from it, then that's just a bonus. So I'm gonna get into it. I just had a cup of coffee to keep me awake because it's a little bit early in the morning. And then I'm going to be having the meditation supplement, Deep State, and then I will be getting into it. So let's go. Okay, we are done with day 4. That sucked. The first hour I was able to drop in pretty deeply and stay pretty present, and I tried the oming again and had a little bit of energy movement but nothing crazy. And then that last hour I was just not able to sit still, not able to stay present. My eyes were open for a bit, I was moving around quite a bit. That was not really the best meditation session. Honestly, no expectations, just because I don't want to set the standard of what yesterday was and bring that into thinking that every meditation needs to be like that. So I was still able to ride it out. It was tough, but done, and that means we got 3 days left. So on to the next day. All right, we're about to start day 5. So let's do it. Okay, so we finished that meditation, but what actually happened is I only meditated for like 20 minutes and I slept for the other 100.
Why?
So I'm gonna extend another day. I did not expect to do that. I must have been tired. Gonna chalk it up. Got a good 20 minutes in, and yeah, we're just gonna go to day 8 instead of day 7. But you know, made the time for it. So on to tomorrow. All right, we're back at it. Here we go. All right, we are done with day, whatever this is. It's Monday. There's definitely some sleep in there. I'm not gonna lie. There's some nodding off, but I resisted the laying down, and I had a good portion where I was able to just kind of lock in and stay present. It was hard at the end there, for sure. I just get so fidgety. Like, I just want to do a million different things. My brain's all over the place. My body says, hey, you haven't moved in a while, go move. And it is kind of a challenge to slow that down. So, done with another day, and yeah. Here we go. I think we got 2 more days. Let's go. All right, we are on day 7. Ideally, this would have been the last day, but because of my falling asleep debacle, this is the second to last day. I'm about to start my meditation. It is a little past 2 p.m., and just complete honesty, I do not want to do this. Ever since the emotional release on Friday, my body has just been saying no to being present. It's like, you process this, you take a break, chill. But for the sake of the challenge, I have been doing it. It's difficult, like, especially taking time in the middle of the day. And I think a helpful reframe can be, you know, during busyness, I am able to just take 2 hours and do nothing. But when you enjoy doing things, that's really not the most convenient thing. So it is what it is. We're getting through it. Tomorrow will be the last day, and then kind of do a recap, of course. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, here we are at day 8, and I'm actually somewhat looking forward to it today. Last couple days have been zero interest, zero excitement, not looking forward to it, but I think I'm gonna drop in today. So I had my deep state, and we are about to get into it, and then you know the deal. Let's go. Okay, so challenge is complete. And as you can see by my tie-dye shirt, I have decided to go full hippie. I have actually elevated from this planet and turned into universal conscious.
Happy to go wherever the wind takes us.
But in all seriousness, this was a really eye-opening challenge for me. I know the coolest part of this was the emotional release that I had on Friday. I ended up meditating through Wednesday, and Saturday through Tuesday, I wanted nothing to do with the meditations, nothing. I didn't want to sit there. I didn't want to close my eyes. I literally just wanted to be done with it. Wednesday was actually the first day where I was able to enjoy some of the meditation. So I feel like it was just like this pit that I dug myself into, and then I slowly came out of it, and now I feel like I could get back into things. As far as what I learned from this, number 1, meditation can be work. It doesn't just have to be chilling out, but it can take a lot of focus and energy, especially if you live a busy life or want to make excuses of why you don't have time. As far as where I'm going with this for next steps, so I'm going to continue to keep a 20 to 30 minute meditation in my morning practice. I believe that experience is actually going to change how I meditate a little bit in terms of where my attention and awareness is during. Outside of that, after that emotional release on Friday, I just have found myself being extremely emotionally sensitive. And I'm talking about, yes, sensitive in like easy to upset or kind of easily riled up, but I also mean sensitive as in very aware of my emotions, and also very aware of the emotions that other people are feeling. So that's been a pretty cool side effect. And then besides that, I don't really have any groundbreaking revelations or changes in terms of how present I am throughout the day or my energy. I just think the emotional side of things was the most sensitive during this experience, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I plan on keeping up my routine and seeing how that evolves, but another challenge is in the books. One more challenge down and a step closer to making 2025 the best year yet. We're going to keep going, guys. So make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, you subscribe. You want to keep in touch with these challenges, with the videos that I'm posting on health, becoming the best version of you. And then we do run a really elite, premium, successful fat loss coaching company. And so if you are looking to lose fat in a sustainable and holistic way, make sure you head down below this video and go to the apply page. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. And of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.